I've said this publicly before. I am very fond of Angela Merkel. Donald Trump's unwillingness to perform that basic democratic role, I think, is going to make it more difficult for the Biden administration to hit the ground running on the foreign policy front. I'm still haunted by the tragedy of Syria.
And you met a lot of politicians from India to China, and also you met German Chancellor Angela Merkel. When you look at her now and what she has done and how you have interacted with her, what do you think of her now?
I've said this publicly before. I am very fond of Angela Merkel. She has, I think, been an outstanding leader, not just for Germany, but for Europe and for the world. Throughout, she was somebody who was steady, smart, focused. I think, as I write in the book, she's instinctually, I think, kind and a good person. Her leadership through so many crises in Europe made her a very important partner. And I trusted her completely. She, I think, has been very, very important in maintaining European solidarity and the European idea and resisting a return to the kinds of toxic nationalism that tore Europe apart for centuries.
How are you feeling after the victory of your brother, as you call him, Joe Biden? And are you relieved? Are you full of joy? Or are you worried of the road ahead?
Well, I think all of the above. I am confident about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris being able to redirect our path back towards some of the values that not only were reflected in my administration, but I think are what has made America a leader around the world. A respect for the basic ideals of human rights and democracy and rule of law. So in many ways, I'm optimistic about the country's direction, but I also have to recognize from the results of the election that America remains deeply divided.
The president is not conceding. There is no transition. There are no intelligence briefings for the president-elect. Do you consider this to be an attack on democracy?
I think it is predictable. Donald Trump is somebody who has signaled that he doesn't respect many of these basic norms that in the past Republicans and Democrats have observed. Donald Trump's unwillingness to perform that basic democratic role, I think, is going to make it more difficult for the Biden administration to hit the ground running to deal with a major pandemic and the economic crisis that's gone with it.
What do you consider the three most or the three best accomplishments of your presidency and the three failures or shortcomings?
I try to emphasize in this book how close we came to a global depression, not just a Great Recession. I continue to be very proud of the fact that we stopped the world from slipping into a much worse economic situation. The Paris Accords were not sufficient to solve climate change, but it created an architecture internationally that for the first time said, we're all responsible, we all have a role to play. The Affordable Care Act established the baseline in this country that should have been done decades ago, because every other advanced country recognized this, that everybody should have health care in a country as wealthy as ours. We didn't get it all done. In terms of failures, I think that there is no doubt that I was not able to transfer my own popularity to my party. I think that on the foreign policy front, I'm still haunted by the tragedy of Syria. Not being able to mobilize the international community to hold that country together and lessen the human suffering, I think, is something I still think about.